Welcome to Digestive System and Nutrition. We're going to be doing this unit in two parts for the video notes anyway. Part one, we're going to be talking about, well, what is digestion? And part two, we're going to be talking about the organs. We'll take you on a journey through the digestive system. Starts off yummy and it winds up a little, well, you know. Anyway, right now, I guess we got part one, function. So what does the digestive system even do? Why do we have a digestive system? And this can be a little bit tricky as far as if you're going to get picky about wording. We are living things, and among the things that living things do is use materials and energy. And that's primarily what we're going to be concerned about with the digestive system. However, the digestive system, it doesn't make energy, it doesn't make materials per se, but what it does is it takes the food that we eat and it's going to break it down into the materials that our body needs. So what do we need to eat? We need nutrients, proteins, carbs, lipids. You'll recognize those from our unit on macromolecules. Those are things that all living things contain. We need water, vitamins, minerals, and energy, which we primarily get from our carbohydrates or from the lipids, our fats. So how do we use it? If you imagine the food that you have eaten, I don't know, maybe you've eaten today. It depends on when you're watching this. Maybe you're watching this in the middle of the night, as I know some of you probably do. But anyway, imagine the food that you've eaten. Let's just go with, what's down here? Oh, an apple. Let's choose an apple. We'll be healthy. So that apple is made out of molecules, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins. There's vitamins and minerals and stuff in there. How do those nutrients get into your body, into your cells, where they're needed and where they're used? The apple is too big. You can't just like mush it into your body. So you're going to go through a process of breaking it down into its individual building blocks. I kind of think about this like Lego sets. You're a Lego set and you eat other Lego sets to build yourself out of. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Cannibals. Okay.
We are kind of, right? From a certain point of view, you've got you and I are made out of these proteins, carbs, lipids, etc. And so are the things that we eat. So we eat other organisms and we break them down molecularly eventually into the building blocks. Proteins are made out of amino acids. Carbohydrates are made out of simple sugars like glucose. Lipids are made out of fatty acids and glycerol. And our digestive system breaks it down both physically and then chemically into those building blocks, which are then small enough to pass into our bodies and get delivered to each of our cells.
So you are what you eat.
You literally are what you eat. It's not just a saying, it's an actual thing.
All right. So, and you can just put them all up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't be trusted with this job, clearly.
I don't know who put her in charge.
So food is our energy source and our source for building blocks, like Mr. Kemmeter said. And our body takes in those nutrients. Once they get to our cells, right? Our cells got to do some stuff with it. Our cells got to manipulate those molecules. So our body changes the chemical energy stored in food in those chemical bonds that held the food together, right? It held it together, and when we break those chemical bonds, boom, we can release that energy. And then we're going to turn that stored food energy into different things. We may turn into mechanical energy. Moving my arms around right now, I've converted into mechanical. Heat energy, I'm 98.6 degrees, even though the room around me is a lot cooler, so I'm generating heat. And then, of course, chemical energy in the form of ATP, for instance, which then I use to do the other things. How do we do that? Okay, we've learned about this earlier in the year, right? It is, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's by burning it, right? Just like anything else, but burning needs oxygen. So that's why we have to breathe. Don't tell me, why do we, why do we need oxygen? You better not tell me
to breathe.
Breathe. Yeah, no. Don't tell me to breathe.
Stay alive.
No. We breathe to get the oxygen. The oxygen gets into our bloodstream. Bloodstream takes it to our cells. So our cells have oxygen from our respiratory system, and they get the stored energy molecules like glucose and fructose from our digestive system and you put the two together, and we carry out cellular respiration, which we learned about earlier in the year. Glucose and oxygen, we can use those to break the chemical bonds and charge up some ATP. And that begs the question, if we're talking about energy and food, we usually don't hear people talking about ATP and glucose and cell respiration, right? They're talking about calories. Calories are the unit of measurement for how much energy we can get from digesting a particular food. If I eat, I got a can of soda here that has 0 calories. It's absolutely worthless, okay, when it comes to getting energy into me, other than the caffeine that's in there, which is why I'm drinking it right now, right? I got one here. This protein bar, if I read on the back, I can see that it's got 190 calories. So this has got a lot more energy potential in it if I can get it into my digestive system, can break it down and get it to my cells so they can get the energy out of it in cellular respiration. So here's the units, which we call calories. Now you notice this first one here is calorie, and I've underlined that little c. Okay, this is the base unit. It's like a gram, the base unit, right? You have grams, then you can have kilograms, which are like 1,000 grams, right? So a little c calorie is 1 calorie is the amount of energy necessary to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water, or 1 milliliter water, they're the same thing, 1 degree Celsius. So if I could burn the food underneath a milliliter of water, and if that milliliter of water got 1 degree Celsius hotter, like it went from 20 to 21 degrees, that food released 1 calorie of energy. All right, that's how you define a calorie. It's literally the definition of a calorie. Now you notice below there, we've got a calorie with a big C underlined. Okay, that 1 big C calorie is equal to 1,000 little c calories. So just like you have a gram and a kilogram, you can have a little c calorie and a kilocalorie is the technical term, but we also use a food calorie or a big C calorie. They're all the same thing. And the reason we do that is those are the calories that are used on food labeling and diet planning. Like this thing right here had 190, big C food calories in it, kilocalories. That's significant in my diet, 190 calories. But if you think about that, that's 100, you multiply by 1,000, right? 190,000 little c calories. So does 2 little c calories going to make a, I don't know, what's a bean and a mountain of different? No, I don't know. What's the good thing? Is it going to make much difference?
Not much.
I can't think of a single metaphor or simile right now. It's not going to make one dang little bit of difference, 1 or 2 little c calories. So even 1,000 calories is just a single big C calorie. And we all know a single calorie doesn't, it's not much. So when we talk about food and at the human scale and the energy in food and human scale, we use kilocalories or big C calories as opposed to little c calorie.
Oop, there we go.
What was that?
We missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then question then becomes this. We've talked about how we're taking in food and we're turning it into these building blocks that we need to build ourselves, this energy that we need for everything to run all of our processes and everything like that. So how do we get from eating a delicious pizza to actually having all of these things? So this is what we're going to be covering in part 2, is how the digestive system actually goes from food to all of these things that you need. So we will tell you these stages this time, and then in part 2, we'll go into a little bit more detail of how your digestive system actually goes through these. So stage 1 is ingestion. So anything you need, into your stomach, your body, your digestive system, you need to get it in there somehow. So maybe you're going to take your 0-calorie Coke, there, Pepsi, whatever you got, and drink it. Maybe you're going to eat your piece of pizza. Mr. Kemeter is desperately searching for something to eat or drink, it looks like. Okay.
There's nothing to be found.
Nothing around. Okay. So you need to eat or drink something first and get it into your
digestion. If our doors were open, Kemeter, I could try to toss this to you. I wouldn't
be able to catch it anyway.
So after you've ingested something, then the actual process of digestion will begin. So breaking down of food. So this could be physically breaking things down as you're maybe chewing your food. This could be chemically breaking things down like in your stomach. But the food is going to be starting to break down at this point. Once you've got it all broken down, it's broken up, you need to uptake all of those nutrients. So you've broken it down into the pieces. You want to kind of pick apart, well, which pieces does my body actually need? So absorption is going to be that next process of actually grabbing kind of those materials that your body's going to use. And finally, things, must come to an end, elimination. So you're going to need to remove the waste somehow. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So again, you're eating, you're drinking the food, your stomach and other parts of your digestive system are breaking it down. You're going to absorb the nutrients that you've broken down. And finally, clean up that stuff, get that stuff out of there that you didn't maybe need or use.
So you throw away your leftovers in the trash can? Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Hamele?
Oh, for sure.
Are you sure that's how that works?
Yeah, for sure. 100%, Mr. Hamele.
So you don't want to go into more detail on that one right now.
I mean, do we want to, give it away? Do we want to build a little suspense?
We can build suspense.
Okay, I like building suspense. Okay, so that'll take care of part one. We've discussed kind of the function, the purpose of the digestive system. Why should we kind of care about what's going on? Part two then is going to be about actually what's happening in your digestive system and your anatomy that allows you to be able to do all of those things. We'll see you next time.